Why is so much progressive storytelling morally rotten? Okay, Mr. Chamberlain, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Some of the best modern films and shows explore identity. If you're anything like me, you'll have
I love this painting. I had to study it for class one time.
probably noticed a trend of films and streaming shows that are progressive in identity projection, but oddly morally empty.
Oh, not Hulk Hogan. I always said Hulk Hogan. Not the female Hulk!
Think Emilia Perez, The Acolyte, Ironheart. These works weirdly center on characters who behave shittily, and yet are showcased and marketed, bafflingly, as heroes.
Yeah!
He's out of line, but he's right.
Well, no. All we ever care about is good storytelling, and we don't like second-rate slop entertainment written by identity junkies.
Is this AI of someone hugging Steven Spielberg? Nah, this is crazy. It's all millennials' fault, bros. Look at this guy. He's gripping it with his paws. He's like, oh, sorry, is it George Lucas? Yes, George Lucas, not Steven Spielberg. Jeez, I'm cooked. Sorry.
The difference is storytelling integrity. Does the film earn its insights or just shovel them in?
I'm disappointed in your species.
At root, these stories often reflect a morally relativist worldview born from resentment, filtered through postmodern narrative structures, and decorated with progressive identity politics. A culture that wants to affirm identity, but has lost faith in shared ethics.
There's nothing wrong with inserting a message as long as it fits the fucking story. When you insert it into something that is badly written, it is quite literally something that is unoriginal, people are going to dislike it. They're going to pick it apart and start criticizing it. Star Wars isn't a perfect trilogy either. I think that there's a lot of criticism surrounding it, but the overall message was positive. It has hope, it has evil, it has, someone doing bad, someone doing good. In the overall arc progression of the story with fucking Luke Skywalker. And there's redemption too.
This is fine. I'm
fine.
okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
It has
In
blue
Ironheart,
milk. No, I'm talking about the original. I'm not talking about the sloppening.
Riri Williams, who has an all-expenses-paid scholarship to MIT, somehow squanders all her opportunities, breaks the ethical code by selling academic work to other students, and then joins a criminal gang to make money for her own self-aggrandizement and prestige in making an Iron Man suit. In Emilia...
And then shitting all over Tony Stark's legacy and saying that he was just a dude that she didn't uphold any respect to. Yeah. Very, very topical. And again, the same thing happened with the Hulk. Do you guys remember the female Hulk? I've talked about this so many times. How she meets the male Hulk, and she's like, I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, it's really hard to control your rage. And she's like, well, I'm a woman, and this is my rage all the time being suppressed because I'm a girl. This is how we all normally feel. And you're just sitting here like, you couldn't have written a dialogue maybe saying like, I think everybody goes through tribulations in life. They withhold their anger. It's not about gender. Just say, me as a person has gone through a lot too. I understand how you feel. Boom. Wow, I should be a Hollywood scriptwriter or something.
Perez, the former cartel leader, undergoes gender reassignment and reinvents herself, but the moral trajectory is confused. The redemption arc overlaps uncomfortably with the legacy of violence, and there's little appetite for genuine accountability.
I've heard about
In The Acolyte, a coven of lesbian space witches try to live their lives only...
Chat, coven lesbian space witches is not even that's actually what happens. It's all women and... the power of one, the power of many, and they screech like banshees. I can't even show it because it'll get copyright struck instantly, but like, you get my point.
For one of their ambiguously fertilized and birthed young twins to be separated by morally dubious...
Yeah, this scene right here, The power of one, the power of many!
Jedi, and then for one of the grown-up kids to fall in love with a psychopathic stranger who had earlier killed her friends and then go stone-faced and force choke her mentor to death.
Oh, that's no, that's totally what women want, to be force choked by someone they like. Yeah.
Is what we might call the trauma theory of identity, that systemic oppression and marginalization don't just condition life outcomes, they shape. And marginalization don't just
woke doctor who loses another 400,000 viewers, worst ratings of all time. Yeah, I'm really curious what's gonna happen with the Harry Potter, like, swapping everything around and stuff. Yeah, the gender swapping and the race swapping. Wonder what's gonna happen to that. Are they gonna blame the right-wing audience just like they did with Ironheart?
Condition life outcomes, they shape inner morality. In this framing, characters like Riri Williams or Emilia Perez's ethical violations are reframed as understandable, even sympathetic.
And keep in mind, the actress that played this character, she went on an internet campaign saying that everyone that disliked the Acolyte was a piece of shit and they were sexist and a bigot. She actually went out of her way to do that. She campaigned for it. She made like a whole song about it, which was incredibly cringe. And she copyright struck anybody that reacted to it. Not me, but I'm just saying, like, I remember that story. She got so butt mad and started saying, like, oh, you can't just criticize me. I'm gonna copyright strike you on YouTube.
Are reframed as understandable, even sympathetic. To subvert these norms doesn't therefore have to be bad. There is a horrible moral displacement. In this logic, who you are matters more than what you do. If your identity is marked as historically marginalized, then the narrative arc doesn't need to prove virtue through action.
Again, it kind of circles back to real life where I want people who are good for the job. I don't want to be the person that joins, I don't know, my favorite video game company or something of that nature to join just because of the merit of the sex that I was born as or like the color of my skin. I want the person who's best for the job because the end result means that they actually love, put effort in, and have the IQ and understanding to put out a product that people will enjoy. Yeah, I know Velma is horrible. It's heinous. And they race swapped like all the characters, didn't they? And the dialogue was hella millennial too. Nobody liked it, even millennials.
Through action. Riri Williams doesn't need to use her genius ethically to be good. Her genius exists in spite of the system. That fact alone could be treated as morally redeeming.
And you're also implying that the world is just bad, and the only reason that you have talent is because the world is bad, and you're fighting against it because of the color of your skin. Tony Stark was a billionaire that did bad things, but he ultimately said, like, yeah, my company does a lot of bad things, but at the same time, we also produce, like, life-saving medication, so... Like, am I really that bad? Like, I could be a full-blown villain, and that was, like, the moral ambiguity that you played in as a character, which is fine.
Slapping back, even if she teams up with a bunch of criminals. This, of course, is a gross and weak abandoning of the idea of a moral compass, of innate values, and a refusal to let your circumstances dictate your behavior or skew your integrity.
It really puts perspective on things, doesn't it?
Not too much. There's too much fucking perspective now.
There's also an aesthetic layer, a kind of fashionable grimness. In these newer identity-driven narratives, moral ambiguity isn't used to interrogate the self. It's used to accessorize the self. It's a vibe.
I broke down... I've actually read this. I read this a year ago when this happened. I broke down crying about the Acolyte tonight. I've been grieving privately for days, and I needed to let it all out. Chat, the last time I cried, my dog had to go to the vet, and this bitch cried over a movie. My dog is fine. I'm just saying, like, I feel like the emotional... I wish you guys could see my hands, but the emotional scale is kind of, like, thrown off, right? Like, you really cry over this, over, like, I don't know, losing a loved one, or, like, someone getting hurt physically that you care about. Not a show, like, good lord, man. This show means more to me than words can say. It made me feel seen as a female Star Wars fan and as a woman who is taught by society to hide her rage. I feel like everybody gets taught by society to hide their rage. I thought that was like a thing called emotional regulation. Am I wrong? I feel like men are taught to hide their anger because men are also more like testosterone driven. Women are emotional, but like, I feel like everybody gets taught that.
Characters are often written to be cool, edgy, or unapologetic. There may also be a deeper, narcissistic investment in identity itself as a form of prestige or moral high ground. In this reading, a character's identitarian life becomes a kind of permanent rebuttal to the surrounding world. Therefore, their choices need not be judged by conventional...
People object to POC, LGBTQ, and female stories in big franchises. I'm like beating a dead horse at this point. Isn't there a Chinese Dark Souls that came out recently? I think it comes out today or tomorrow. And everybody is really stoked for it, and nobody's said shit about the main character being a female because it just looks cool and it's a good game. And yeah, Wu Chang, that was it. The main character is a female and nobody said anything.
Standards. Identity becomes its own moral currency. To transgress is not to sin, but to reject an imposed morality that was never yours to begin with. If the system is rigged and irredeemable...
Oh my god, poor Tolkien, man. I literally did a video on this, like, what? like a couple of days ago. Hell, on Middle-earth, the Rings of Power feels to spin streaming cold. Yeah, because it was ass.
If it isn't a level playing field, then morality itself becomes suspect. So do some dodgy shit or whatever.
Oh, I've been internalizing a really complicated situation in my...
Wait, I know this ad! This is a drunk driving ad from like 2010! Oh my god! Ghost strips, bro. Yeah, dude. I remember seeing this all the fucking time on public television.
This, of course, is also a garbage outlook, because while temptation and wrestling and the threat of resentment brimming...
Why is he watching him strip? If this was flipped and if it was the man watching a woman strip, this would get canceled on Twitter instantly. Why is it okay? I want both. I want to see a man strip.
And the threat of resentment
yeah, it's okay when a woman does it. She's such a perv.
brimming and spilling over is a real proposition for too many people. There are multiple better ways to contest the system through public service, creative expression and music, and on the screen, and in the John Lewis formulation of getting into good trouble. True. So let's look at some contrasts and how identity can be explored on screen. Get Out is not simply a horror film with racial themes, but a savvy indictment of liberal hypocrisy disguised in civility. It builds its commentary of race relations in America into the architecture of the plot, with a polite, progressive white family and not malevolent in the overt, backwoods racist sense, but exploitative in a way that is far more insidious.
See, and this can be really haunting to people that haven't experienced, like, I know that my chatters have obviously experienced racism before in their life, but a lot of people genuinely just don't because they don't encounter it. You don't go out of your way to look for it. And I think it can be a very haunting and well-written message if you write it the right way and don't shove it in someone's face. Yeah, I heard it was a pretty good movie. Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe I'll take a look at it one day.
Admire blackness, even as they appropriate and hollow it out. Jordan Peele
Whoa.
marries genre elements of body horror, thriller, and surrealism to thematic depth. Everything from the use of silence to the claustrophobic camera work supports the central anxiety. Being seen not as a person, but as a body, as a vessel for someone else's narrative. Get Out doesn't shout its ideas at you, it lures you in, like the Armitages do, with charm and familiarity, and then
That's scary,
reveals the
man.
deeper rot. It's a rare example of a mainstream success that manages to be politically biting, dramatically compelling, and wholly original. Or you could just watch Ironheart, a show
I'd rather not. I find that one more interesting. And I don't even like horror movies that much, I'm not gonna lie.
containing plot armor, socio-cultural armor, and literal armor in a toe-curling trifecta, which relies on hand-me-down iconography. Characters are archetypes of messaging, not people. Identity is a checkbox exercise. Riri Williams
And she's just such a girl boss, and everything she does is correct, and she has absolutely no moral ambiguity, and, you know, she's just a girl boss, and everything she does is right, and yas, queen.
makes a succession of morally shitty decisions.
Like Tony Stark is an unapologetic asshole, and you're meant to, like him, but also dislike him for what he does.
And the show,
is so
supposed to be an
cringe.
affirming, stylish, identity-driven exercise, ends up as a ratings calamity
It's just
and
so
moral cesspool,
patronizing.
and its failure must really be down to review bombing, or reactionaries, or it being ahead of its time, or whatever. Anyway, you're to blame somehow. Or you could watch Velma, a sweet old IP desecrating and shittily discombobulating identity farce used not for empathy or insight, but as a cynical shield for lazy writing and mean-spirited
Millennial writing has done irreversible damage to Hollywood. I actually watched 2 episodes of Velma, and I couldn't tell you what it was about because it was just these horrible one-liners, pop culture references that probably aren't relevant in the next, 5 years from the day it was posted or released. You lost brain cells? I couldn't, man. It's so bad. Millennial writing's kind of like isekai slop. No, because isekai slop you can just consume. Millennial writing, you become conscious that you are watching something that was written by a person, as opposed to isekai slop where it's like, man, this is terrible, but I'm still kind of enjoying myself because there's other things to, look at and laugh about. It's laughably bad, but this is just unpleasant. Does that make sense?
commentary, and which drowns in its own self-referential retarded disdain, uses identity politics as cudgel and gimmick, with a meta approach that comes off as snaring and self-loathing, failing both the source material and its new themes by being performatively edgy without any emotional anchor. Moonlight is a work of stunning emotional precision, a film that speaks in glances and silences as much as dialogue. What sets it apart as a treatment
well
of identity
shot, too.
is its quiet
I had to take a photography class, and we had to analyze cinematic stuff, and you can really tell who is actually good at their job when you watch movies like this.
refusal
It's
to
well
reduce its
shot.
protagonist, Chiron, to a symbol. Black, poor, and gay, Chiron isn't a case study in intersectionality. He is a living, breathing character, shaped by circumstance, but not defined solely by it. The film's triptych structure, showing Chiron as a child, a teenager, and then a hardened adult, allows Jenkins to explore the tension between internal identity and external performance.
And it's relatable and introspective to someone who hasn't experienced this. You don't have to be black and gay to watch this. You can be white, straight, Asian, Mexican. Anybody can watch this and be like, okay, this is a good story. Because it actually is written by a person that cares.
What does it mean to grow up in a world that punishes softness in black men? How do you protect your sense of self in such a world? Jenkins answers these questions not with thesis statements, but with the gentle sway of the camera, the bath of blue light, the halting cadences
Really good
of
shots,
conversation.
honestly.
Moonlight doesn't posture, it listens, and in doing so, it gives dignity to a type of experience that cinema has rarely been willing to observe with such tenderness. Or you could just
Are we lagging again? Yeah, I see it. I know. You guys are saying it. I know. I see it. Lag spike. Yeah, I'll wait for a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, it's my side. Yeah, I know. Good writing makes you think. Yeah, but even if you're not like a... Even if you're not a smart person, I'd like to believe that you can tell something is good even if you don't understand why. Like, even if you're not that smart. Okay, I think we're good. I want to wait another 30 seconds. Fuck it, we ball. We ball. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, we're good. Okay. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Watch The Society of Magical Negroes, which follows a young black man who...
The Society of Magical what? I'm sorry, what?
Or you could just...
I just got whiplash.
Watch The Society of Magical Negroes, which follows a young black man who was inducted into a secret organization of black people whose job is to use charm, de-escalation, and self-effacement to make white people feel comfortable, thereby...
Oh my god.
...to make...
Oh my god, that's actually the title. That's actually the title of the movie. What universe am I living in, bro?
white people feel comfortable, thereby maintaining social harmony. The film frames this as a satirical critique of...
This is so millennial coded. Why? Like, this previous movie, again, I've never seen any of this. This makes me want to watch it because I don't understand it as a white person, the introspective, and I'd want to learn what it's like to be in someone else's shoes. That's the whole point of a movie, a book. You don't have to have extreme relatability in order to experience empathy, right? Like, I don't know, man. But this is so, the opposite, the polar opposite of this, I don't even know if I should say it. The magical, nice people, I don't want to get banned, I don't know. The magical, nice people, right? It's condescending. It's just so bad.
Racial dynamics, but its satire sucks, neither sharp enough to provoke thought, nor funny enough to entertain, leaving it stranded in an uncanny...
Oh my god, did it actually say white tears? It actually says white tears on the little thing. This is so cringe. It's okay for white people to get ragged on, that's right,
Leaving it stranded in an uncanny zone of smug irony, offers no meaningful alternative to the stereotype it critiques, replacing nuance with quirk and moral clarity.
Millennial writing, that's quirky references that will not stick around for more than 3 years.
With self-conscious detachment and
How
appeals
ironic.
to no one. Too glib for those seeking depth, too self-congratulatory for those craving subversion, and too soft for audience.
And every time a little gag happens, one of the characters laughs so that you know when to laugh. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like when they write in laughing into the show so that you know when to laugh. I hate that. I hate that shit.
Who expect satire to...
No, not even laugh tracks. No. Not even like that. I'm saying like one of the characters like goes like, ha, good one, bro. Looks at the camera.
Right, and just coming across as modern bollocks with no cultural impact and somehow no balls. The Substance offers an extreme and confrontational take on identity that is thematically rich, blending body horror, social satire, and feminist allegory. The film centers on a middle-aged actress who undergoes a grotesque cosmetic transformation through an experimental procedure, a literal shedding of her physical self.
Oh, she's a hag and then turns into a not hag?
What sets The Substance apart is its willingness to plunge deep into the horror of feminine self-erasure. It doesn't just acknowledge the pressures placed on women to conform to ideals of youth, desirability, and public image. It embodies them, graphically and viscerally.
Whoa, ass!
The horror elements aren't just stylistic flourishes. They're the natural extension of a system that devours female autonomy in the name of empowerment.
That's
It uses
scary.
genre as a scalpel to dissect societal obsession with the body. The film
See, I think that's fair, and I think it also, again, it might put an introspective on someone who doesn't really like women and be like, huh, yeah, maybe I'll watch this movie because it's a woman of suffering from identity crisis, and maybe I'm feeling the same way, but I'm a man. Like, you know, it hooks you, and not in the way that these millennial cringe writing, you know, shows and movies try to do. Because it doesn't have to. It's just good writing in and of itself.
It's bold, enraged, and at times even
like Dr.
camp,
Jekyll and
but
Mr.
beneath its
Hyde.
blood-soaked
Yeah.
visuals are clear and
That sounds
disturbing
good.
questions. Well, fuck it, chuck on She-Hulk, attorney at
Oh my god, please, no.
law, shallow
Please
empowerment by committee.
no!
Its gender politics are TikTok deep, and it dodges dramatic engagement in favor of snarky fourth-wall winks, smug self-awareness, and straw-man villains. Identity is treated like a meme template, ready to post, shallowly drawn, and gone the next day. And remember, don't lecture her about controlling her anger because she does it infinitely more than you.
He even brought up what I said earlier. That's crazy. That's the exact scene.
And if the show's
With the
tanking,
male
just do some clumsy fuck you to the haters at the end. Trolling the trolls, get it? It's cool because it's reacting to your legitimate disdain. While Dallas Buyers Club is nominally about the libertarian hustle of Ron Woodruff, a straight rodeo-riding electrician given a death sentence by an AIDS diagnosis, its emotional core resides in the character of Rayon, a trans woman living with HIV, whose presence gradually cracks
Oh, is this Matthew McConaughey? He's a great actor.
Woodruff's macho bluster and exposes the deeper moral terrain of the story. Rayon is not framed as a political statement or sociological lesson. She's funny, tragic, wounded, and resilient. And crucially, she is allowed to be fully human. Her femininity isn't exaggerated into parody, nor is her transness reduced to a single-note source of
And she probably doesn't even say that she's trans, like, more than maybe, like, a couple of times in the film. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's almost like they're just humans. They're just human beings with feelings, I know.
trauma or inspiration.
Doesn't have to
The
say
film
it, you
finds
can see it.
extraordinary
Yeah, I
pathos in
know.
the small gestures, the way Rayon dresses for dignity, her moments of maternal care towards Ron, the
Human
unbearable pain in
beings.
her eyes during a visit with her disapproving father. The
Aww.
character is drawn with enough specificity to avoid tokenism, and her relationship with Ron transcends the predictable arc of bigot learns tolerance. It becomes something messier
Yeah.
and more truthful, a reluctant alliance, grounded in shared vulnerability. Dallas Buyers Club succeeds in giving identity-based storytelling emotional heft because it doesn't isolate Rayon as other. It allows her interior life to unfold within the same moral
Holy.
frame as every other character. That's what makes her fate all the more devastating and meaningful. But Amelia
Oh, did they die in the end because they have AIDS? That's sad. Yeah. Spoilers. I mean, fuck. I didn't know. I didn't pre-watch this, okay? I'm just saying.
Perez is also supposed to be about trans stuff, automatically elevating it to some kind of profound elevated status, automatically lending it some kind of gravitas and sense of meeting the moment, right? Never mind that it's a tonal grab bag of gender politics garbage, crime
Guys, did you know I'm changing my gender? Oh my goodness, did you know that?
opera and pop musical, a confused and garish visual and audio nightmare where identity themes are rendered as surreal spectacle rather than human drama, and the penis to vagina song will haunt our collective memories.
There. What? No. The penis to. You're trolling. Amelia Paris from penis to vagina.
You know, the penis and vagina, you know, that part of the movie.
Very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
sorry I subjected your ears to that. I apologize. I really do apologize. I didn't expect it to be that bad. My days, it's so cringe, man. Dude,
and be a worse imposition upon our collective musical sensibilities since that time you too shoved it in.
I genuinely thought that he was like lying to make it be like, oh yeah, the right wing making up bullshit about trans people, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Penis to vagina. This is like evil twirling mustache, kind of like stupid ass, you know, like song that you'd make up to like parody something.
A dreary new album onto everyone's playlist without asking. And now that stupid fucking dogshit song is rattling around my head, and I need to go off and listen to literally anything else to purge it from my psyche. By the way, just before I go, you can now find me over on Substack, where, in addition to my spluttering ramblings on popular culture, you can also find a plethora of articles on politics, society, and the wider world. But don't worry, my signature tone of
He's from New Zealand! That's so cool!
Disagreeable, curmudgeonly cynicism, with occasional bright spots of misguided optimism.
Oh, this is the good night Kiwi! Wait, this guy's probably like a older Kiwi.
Perhaps because I was born foolish, abides there as well. If you think you'd like to sign up for a free subscription, it would really help out a lot. The link is in the description.
So cute. This guy's nice, man. Very, very knowledgeable. Yeah. Go check him out. A Kiwi movie critic. Very nice.